Kingdom Ken, what's going on? So today what I want to discuss is if your metrics of success are not rooted in God, you lose. I'm going to say that again. If your metrics of success are not rooted in God, you lose. Okay. So, y'all know I keep my handy dandy notebook. I just want to say that so in case if I'm looking down, you know that's what I'm looking at. But the metrics that we move off in life when we're like judging how successful we are, they're really like messed up. They're really, really messed up. So I was reading this book. Y'all probably seen it before or read it. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Great read. This is a great read. I would suggest y'all pick this up. And of course, I'm not sponsored. Y'all see out there, I don't have no subscribers. So you know this is not a sponsored video. I'm telling y'all to pick this up because it's a good read. So in the book, he was basically speaking on how the metrics that we place upon our life and our values that we live life by, the reason that we're unhappy is because our metrics and our values and our morals, they're not in the right place. We're placing value on things that don't matter. Our morals are based off of what's going on in society and not how our morals are basically based off of how we think the world thinks, or how based off of how we feel like people will view us if our values aren't placed upon this thing or whatever the thing may be, and not based off of how we actually feel internally. That's our I'm gonna say people, minds as well, but that's our problem. We don't base our values and our metrics off of how we actually feel inside of us. So he gave two examples. So there was two people that were in bands. They both had different metrics. So I'm gonna give you the first person. It was Dave Mustaine. I don't know if y'all are into like rock or anything like that, but Dave Mustaine, he got kicked out of Metallica. At the time, it wasn't Metallica, I don't think, but he got kicked out of that band Metallica. And y'all know Metallica, they went worldwide. That was one of the biggest bands, right? So what Dave Mustaine did, he created his own band. He went worldwide as well in his band. He made millions of dollars in his band. But he wasn't happy. And I'm going to tell you why he wasn't happy. His metrics were based off of being better than Metallica, making more sales than Metallica, selling out more arenas than Metallica. And he based his success off of someone else's success. He based his success off of Metallica's success. Okay, so if they sell 100 million copies, I want to sell 200 million. And ultimately, this left him unhappy. He did an interview where he just burst out crying. And he was like, he told the story of how he got kicked out of Metallica 20 years before, and how he felt like a failure due to this. And the whole time he was successful. But based off of his metrics in life and how he thought about the situation, he was a failure because he felt like, oh, I got kicked out of Metallica. I'm not selling more records than Metallica. I must be a failure. But if he would have changed the way his brain thinks and the way his brain was wired and the metrics that he had placed upon his life, he would have ultimately been happy had he just said, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. Whatever they're doing, I kicked out of that band 20 years ago. I'm actually successful here. Let me change my metrics and focus on what I do have and focus on where I'm going in life. He would have ultimately been happier. And then there was another band player that Mark Manson spoke on in this book, and his name was Pete Best. Now, Pete Best was big in the Beatles. The ladies loved Pete. They loved him. They loved his face. They loved his voice. They loved how he played. I don't know what instrument. Look, I'm not really into rock, but I'm just giving y'all the examples. They loved everything about Pete. And the group didn't like it. They didn't like it. So they told their manager, hey, you need to get Pete up out of here. We done with him. And the manager, he did just that. He got Pete right on up out of there. He got him out of there. Now, Pete did go down a period of depression. You know what I'm saying? Because the Beatles blew up. They were everywhere, worldwide. They blew up, and he had to see this. So he became an alcoholic. He was depressed. He even said that he had thoughts about himself, you know? So he went down that period, through that period of depression. But what Pete did is he changed his metrics. He pulled himself out of depression by changing his metrics, his way of thinking, his values, his morals, what he stood on, his principles. Pete eventually started a family. He had children. He made, I don't know what he did for a career, but he made a name for himself in whatever he was doing. He wasn't in the music business, but he changed his metrics. He changed his values. He changed the things that were important to him. And he said, he did an interview. And in his interview, he said he's 10 times happier than he felt like he would have been if he would have stayed in the Beatles. He loved his life. But that's because his metrics changed. He wasn't thinking about being famous. He wasn't thinking about all the recognition he would get with these females or the money. He wasn't thinking about none of that. He changed his metrics and his values. And they were rooted in God. Family. Making sure he raised his children upright. Making sure that he's of service to people around him that need help. Making sure that he's a good man. Making sure that he stands for something and he's not just selling his soul to the devil. He actually stands for something. That's what his metrics were rooted in. And ultimately he ended up happier. He made sure that he was there for his children. He made sure that he had to get into his word. I can't really speak on his journey because I'm not sure. But this is what I feel like will ultimately make sure that your metrics and the values that you're living off of and your principles, once you get into that word and you walk on that spiritual journey and you get to know yourself, your metrics won't be that of vain things, that of worldly things. Your metrics will be of things that actually hold weight, things that actually hold value, things that when you lose, if you lose it all today, the things that you held high in your morals, in your principles, those things are still there because these are things that people cannot take away from you. These are things that you can't lose to worldly things. These are things that are embedded in you internally. Your metrics have to be based off of things like having a kind heart. Being, like I said, being of service to the people around you that need help. You have to pray daily, fast. You have to just be a good person. The things that you care about, you shouldn't care about things that bring pleasure or gratification like this, because those things ultimately you will lose them like this. You have to have your metrics rooted in things that are of God, things that they might not bring you instant gratification, but when they do bring you gratification, that's something that can't be taken away from you because it's rooted in God. Writing a book, that's something that it's not going to bring you instant gratification because you actually have to put time, effort, and energy into doing the thing. But once the thing is done, once those books start selling, once your word is out there, can't nobody take that from you. That's something that you, like, it's a hard copy. That's something that you've done. Nobody can take it from you. And even if the book stops selling, guess what? The thing that you put your value in, which was writing the book, that energy, that time, that knowledge that you gained over the time of writing the book, can't nobody take that from you. That's something you can feel proud about for the rest of your life. But if you're doing things like, oh, I'm gonna go rob this lady for, you feel me, I need some money quick. It might feel good when you get that money, when you rob somebody. Let me rob this nigga. I know he got 10 bands on him. It might feel good when you first do it because you got the money. But once that money gone, now you looking over your shoulder because you know you did something that wasn't of God. Now you can't sleep at night. And then stuff like that, it 9 times out of 10 go left. You just went in just to rob dog. And now you done murdered the nigga. Now you looking over both shoulders because you like, I don't know if his people gonna come back for me. I don't know if the police on to me. Stop doing things rooted in the devil. Do things that you can feel good about. Have metrics and values about things that you can actually, you can feel good about. That you don't have to feel ashamed of. A lyrical philosopher by the name J. Cole once said, always gonna be a bigger house somewhere, but nigga feel me. Long as the people in that motherfucker love you dearly. Always gonna be a whip that's better than the one you got. Always gonna be some clothes that's fresher than the ones you rock. Always gonna be a bitch that's better out there on the tours. But you ain't never gonna be happy till you love yours. And he never lied. He never lied. I love me some J. Cole because that's the real shit right there. That's real. You gotta love yours. Like, you have to stop placing your value in things that don't matter. Place your value in things that matter. It's so many millionaires out here that got millions of dollars. They feel successful in life, but their kids hate them. Their kids want them dead. I'm being real. Like, their kids hate them. Their wife hate them. Their wife, she think about going to be gay or something. Their kids trying to devise a plan to kill, to get the insurance money. Because you're not spending time with them. You don't show no love. You just so judgmental. You need to fix your heart posture. Place value in things that matter. Stop placing value in things that just give you a high. Because that's really what you're chasing. A high. Getting 10,000, 20,000, that's a high. But once that money is gone, what do you have? Like, this is what your values and metrics should be rooted in. Number one is God. That's just period. Number one is God. Because he will guide you and lead you down the path that you need to be going down. He will show you your purpose. He will show you your purpose, literally. Like, literally, in a dream. Or he will come to you while you awake. I keep telling y'all this. It's no lie. It's all facts. He told me what I need to be doing. And I'm not even talking about YouTube. What I really, my real purpose, what he told me I need to be doing, I'm working on that too. Behind the scenes. But he will tell you your purpose. So you need to be rooted in God. That's number one. But when it comes to the things that you hold value in, they need to be family. You know what I'm saying? Having the relationships that, making sure that your kids know the things that they need to know in life. Making sure that they're rooted in God. Love. Like I said, being of service. Being a good person. That's what your values should be rooted in. A lot of people have values. They're rooted in the values of being takers. Being mass manipulators. Being narcissists. Like, these are traits of the devil. People don't even know who they're working for. Some people do know that they're working for the devil. A lot of people got these traits and they don't even know they're working for the devil. But that's who you're working for. Because we all working for somebody. Whether you believe in spirituality or not. We all working for somebody. Because I know the truth. I'm a very spiritual being. Like I told y'all before, I'm highly ranked in that spiritual realm. I know the truth. We all working for somebody. And when you have those negative, them nasty, them types of traits and them values that just aren't of God, you're working for the devil. And he might give you the riches that you think you want now. But they will fade away. When you're rooted in God, your riches are eternal. In this realm and in the spiritual realm where you're no longer here. Because you worked in his will. You worked in his favor. But with the devil, he'll give you things long as you doing demonic things on this earth. And that's going to ultimately get you locked up or dead or something. Something bad's going to happen to you the longer you keep working for the devil. He knows that. But then once you're dead, he wants that. That's the goal for him anyway. Because once you locked up or dead or something like that, he really wants you to be dead. Because then he got your soul. Now your soul belongs to him wholeheartedly. He don't even want you to be locked up. Because then if you're locked up, you can still find God in prison. So of course he wants you to be out here doing these demonic things, robbing people, stealing from people, beating on your girl, doing just demonic things, so that he can ultimately get your soul in the end. So you have to make sure that your morals, your values, your principles, the metrics that you live on and stand by, they are rooted in God. They are rooted in being a good person, and the end goal will be you getting the things that you want. God blesses the obedient. So I just wanted to get that message out there, man. Just change the way that y'all think. Change the things that you hold value in. Because a lot of these worldly things is no value to them. Family, love, and just doing things that make others feel better, feel good. That's where the real value is. Alright, cycle breakers, Kingdom Kin, y'all have a good one. I just wanted to come share that message with y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next video.